is I want to make a video where I'm just talking about why you should be more excited about learning about space, because it's super cool. You should be excited about space. If you're not, you should be. And a lot of people tell me that they're scared of space. You should be. Yeah, no. There are a lot of things that I guess you could call scary in space, but I mean, you're gonna be okay. It's okay. Like, it's pretty far away. And a lot of people tell me that what they think is scary about space is that it's just like so expansive. It's just like this endless void. And like, there's so much stuff in space though. There's so much stuff in space. And that's what's super cool. It like, there's just like whatever trillions of stars and all the you know, all the things, and so many of them end up having planets. And then whenever you start to get into dark matter and dark energy, other awesome crazy thing to think about. So if I remember right, and I might be wrong, but like essentially easiest way I found to explain this is that like, okay, dark matter seems to be this thing that was observed because when we were looking at other things in the universe and all that, we kept seeing that like the way that the gravity was working on things wasn't matching up with how we thought gravity should work. And so the only thing that explained this is that there's some other matter there that we can't see. And for scale, only 5% of the universe's matter is like the matter that interacts with light that we understand. And dark matter does not interact with light at all, so we can't see it at all. And so we're trying to find ways to observe it. And then dark energy seems to be the reason for the, oh, and if I remember right, it's 27% of the universe seems to be dark matter. But then dark energy seems to be this thing throughout the universe that like so you may have heard this thing that's like the universe is expanding at a rate faster than the speed of light. And you hear that phrase, and it's like it's complicated. And so kind of, I've heard like a lot of different things on the way to look at it, but the way that I kind of understand it as seems to be that dark energy has to do with the way that our universe expands. And it's the fact that whenever we look at how old the universe is, we're looking at about 14 billion years old, how big the universe is does not match up with that amount of time in light years. So it seems that the universe is expanding at a rate faster than the speed of light, which should be impossible, I think. Again, it's complicated and it's so cool to think about, and like just, oh my god, there's so much out there. Like, okay, one you might have heard of, or might not. Actually, if you aren't excited about space, then you probably haven't heard about it, but Kepler 16b has 2 suns that sit on its horizon, and there's also a really cool, there's a really cool poster that NASA made for it that I really like, and there's also like a bunch of other cool space tourism posters that NASA made that I really like. There's also space horror ones, which, so if you're scared of space, you know, it's fitting, but but I'm not scared of space. I think it's awesome. It's super cool. And so, you know, I'm kind of like, oh man, I gotta get you galactic horror on the thing. And it's so spooky, but I mean, you know, I mean, if you want to look at it as scary, look at it as scary. But, you know, I'm just rambling for this, but, you know, what's something else I think is cool about space? Okay, here's a random space fact. Way to tell the difference between a James Webb telescope image and a Hubble image very quickly. A Hubble image will have 4 refractions on the stars, 4 refraction points. So you see like little spikes of light that go off of the stars. It'll have 4 refraction points. That is a Hubble photo. And for James Webb, it'll have 6 refraction points. And so that's very cool. So that's a quick way to know which telescope's image you're looking at. And that the reason that it's like that is because of the amount of mirrors that it has. And so if I also remember right, Hubble, they had to do an EVA to fix the Hubble telescope because I think like one of the mirrors was not curved correctly. Like it was off by like the tiniest little bit, like a stupidly small amount. It was off, and it was making all the photos blurry. And so they had to do an EVA, which, if you don't know, extravehicular activity. It's things that astronauts do whenever they go out of the ship. That's an EVA. And so they had to do an EVA to fix the Hubble. And so that was really cool. And what is other stuff? I mean, all of the different things that I just watched one thing. Okay, not space related. I just watched one thing though that was from the MIT alumni YouTube, where they were talking about how they're making these shirts that can absorb carbon emissions, and that's super cool as well. And they like, I gotta link that one. Super cool. Like, all of these awesome things. You should be excited about space. And the reason I mentioned the other thing while bringing up that is because space always has to do with innovation. All these things, they come up with all of these different things like that end up helping for space, because okay, so alright, I gotta say this right. Okay, so you got the stuff that they're working on that helps space travel, but then in that way it ends up helping everyone back down on Earth. Okay, but yeah, like it's so cool. I love I love all this stuff so much, so very much. But yeah, what's something else I find fascinating? I'm trying to lose my train of thought. Yeah, black holes. We just went to the Frost Science Museum today, and we watched a thing on black holes, which was super fun for me. I already knew everything that was in it. But basically, some interesting thing that people don't know is that there's black holes, but there's also white holes, and it's what's thought to be on the other side of the black hole, because obviously if it's continually pulling things into it, it has to be going somewhere. And so essentially, black hole, white hole, wormhole through, and then the white hole, where's all that stuff going? It's going into another universe. So that's whole thing with that. Very awesome. Black hole occurs after a star dies in the supernova. Is that right? I think it is. I was kind of getting thrown off during the documentary, like whatever the show, and because it was very pretty visuals, so I was kind of just zoning out for a minute there. But you know, it's very cool. Like, there's all sorts of different types of stars. Other awesome thing, I could tell you about constellations and asterisms. Also cool. Okay, so constellations, there's 88 constellations, and when you hear constellations, you usually think of little things like Little Dipper, Big Dipper, all those things, but technically those are asterisms, and that is like the depiction of a certain thing of stars. That is an asterism. It's how we like view it's like a commonly depicted thing. How do you say that? I don't know. Okay, asterism. And then constellation, it's better if I just tell you the difference than I tell you what exactly each is, because I don't really know how to put that into words properly. But it's like the depiction that you'll see a lot of things. So like the Big Dipper is an asterism, not a constellation, because it's not fully classified as a constellation. It's just like a commonly known thing. And the constellations are technically just portions of the sky. So those 88 constellations are these ones that create like these portions of the sky. So technically, the constellation for Ursa Major is not all the stars that make up what you think of for the shape of the bear, right? That's not just the constellation. That whole portion of the stars and that whole portion of the sky and everything in it, that's the constellation of Ursa Major, instead of just these like few stars that you see here, which is why whenever I was making a star map, I realized that like there's no exact like definition for how each asterism looks. It's kind of just like connect the dots however you want with the stars, and so that's pretty interesting to think about. And yeah, it's cool. Other funny thing about space, here's one that I really like, because it always gets people to laugh. This always makes people laugh, but it makes a lot of sense. and it's that NASA, for the first space suits, worked with lingerie company. They would work with lingerie seamstresses because lingerie seamstresses were the only ones that knew how to work with synthetic materials at the time. So the elastics and stuff that would need to be used for spacesuits of these synthetics that could survive in space, most seamstresses did not know how to work with them, and so lingerie seamstresses did know how to work with them, and so NASA hired a bunch of lingerie seamstresses to help with the first spacesuits. So always makes people laugh. I love that one. But yeah, so there's a lot of cool and funny things to learn about for space, and you should be excited about space. I might add some other things if I remember later, but you should be excited about space. That's the main thing. My main point is that.